In this video, I want to take a look at what is a linear function. A linear function is just a relationship that forms a line. A linear function generally has these properties. First, an x-intercept, so where it crosses the x-axis. So right there would be about where our x-intercept is. Then it will have a y-intercept, so it's where we are crossing the y-axis, about right there. Then it will have a slope, so a rise and a run. So it will be a rise over a run. And we can find the slope by looking at the graph usually, but we do have other ways to calculate the slope as well. And then the last thing that a linear function will have is, an equation of a line. So the equation of a linear function will either be y equals mx plus b or f of x equals mx plus b, where, once again, m is going to be the slope and b is going to be the y-intercept. Not the whole y-intercept, but the y value of the y-intercept. So what we can do with these is if we have a graph that has a line on it, we can find the x-intercept, the y-intercept, we can find the slope, and then we can find an equation of that line. So let's go ahead and try that. Alright, this problem says find the x-intercept, the y-intercept, the slope, and the equation of the line in slope-intercept form of the graph. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and find the x-intercept. I needed to do a coordinate background on this so we could see the graph really well. If the writing's hard to see, I'm sorry about that. But we have here the x-intercept, so we're just going to look where we're crossing the x-axis. And that looks like that is at 3. So it's the point 3, 0. Our y-intercept, where we're crossing the y-axis, is at 1, 2, 3, 4, -5. So our y-intercept is at 0, -5. Then we need to find the slope. Our slope is our rise over our run, so we're going to rise 5 and run 3. Okay, the last thing we need to do is to find the equation of the line. We're going to put it in just this form, y equals mx plus b. That is what slope-intercept form of the graph is in equation form. So we know that our slope is 5/3. So we're going to just replace our m with 5/3. And we know our y-intercept is 0, -5. So that means the y value of our y-intercept is at -5. And then that means the equation of our graph is y equals 5/3 x minus 5. Now these are very basic lines. Almost every single equation is going to have that x-intercept, the y-intercept, and a slope. The only time that will change is if you do have like a horizontal line. In that case, our slope would be 0 and it wouldn't have an x-intercept. We can also have a line that's a vertical line. These are very special cases, and we'll take a look at those in another video. Now the last thing I want to quickly look at is if we do have an equation, how we would go about graphing it on our own. Okay, to graph a linear function, the first thing you want to do is make sure it is a linear function. That means it will be either y equals a slope times x plus b or f of x equals mx plus b. After you recognize that you do have a line, in order to graph it, we're going to find the slope and the y-intercept. So let's say I have this function y equals 3x minus 2, and I want to graph that. So we're going to find the slope. We know the slope is 3, which means in terms of rise over run, that is 3/1. And then our y-intercept, our b is -2. Okay, so we're going to find our slope and our y-intercept, and then we are going to plot the y-intercept. So our y-intercept is -2. That means we're going to cross the y-axis at -2. So we just plot -2 on there. Then from the y-intercept, we're going to rise, then run according to the slope. So since our slope is 3/1, we're going to rise 1, 2, 3, run 1. Then we can rise 1, 2, 3, run 1. The little dots are kind of like just my path of where I'm going. Then we just connect the points, and we have graphed our linear equation. And that is it. Let's try one more so that we can make sure we have it down. This is a very good skill to have when you're going either into college algebra or on, because being able to graph a line really quick will be help you in lots of different ways. So let's try the function y equals -4/5 x plus 6. Okay, so we have our slope is -4/5, and our y-intercept is +6. Okay, so we're going to start at +6 for our y-intercept. Okay, I just double checked to make sure that was at 6. And then we're going to apply our slope from that y-intercept. So our rise is -4. That means we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then our run is 5. So then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can do that one more time if you want, just to get a bit more points. 1, 2, 3, 4, down 4, run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and there you go. You have plotted the equation of the linear function.